Hello, everybody. Today is June 30th, and here in Washington, Washington, it's balmy 68 degrees Celsius, 20 degrees Fahrenheit, going up to a high of 85 degrees Fahrenheit and 30 degrees, 29 degrees Celsius. I'll get this eventually. And that's a far cry from what we had a few days ago. We had record highs here in the Northwest, but in Washougal in particular, it was 112 degrees Fahrenheit, 44 degrees Celsius for those over the pond. It was just nuts, absolutely nuts. And if any of you heard about it in the weather, I mean, like on news or whatever else, it truly was, extremely, extremely hot. I felt like I was out in the desert because I have spent time in the desert before being from Southern California, but this was that oppressive desert heat just beating down on you. I was so grateful for my air conditioning. And there's a lot of people up here in the Northwest who do not have it because it generally is quite cool and generally doesn't get above 90 here very often. So I feel for those people who didn't have that, and boy, was I grateful for it. In Utah, it stayed around 90 degrees. Go figure. This heat dome did not extend to them. So anyway, that was the craziness of this last few days. But anyway, to introduce myself, I'm Colette the Highway Stitcher. I'm here to give you my stitching from the highway and at home. And now we are at our second house in Washougal, Washington, which is the River House, which I've mentioned to some of you before. And I'm in a different videoing area, as you can see. Not very classy or pretty or whatever else, but it'll get the job done. We'll show you some FOs and show you some haul, and my haul will have to be in pictures. Thankfully, I thought about it before I left and took pictures of all my haul from StitchCon. So I'll be able to show those to you and just add them in. But before I do anything else, I first want to say thank you so much for the new subscribers. I have a bunch of new subscribers, and I appreciate you checking out my channel. I like a whole span of types. I'm an eclectic stitcher. I enjoy lots of different things. Maybe that'll be something that you enjoy. And if so, please subscribe. And those who have already, thank you so much for that. Before I go to anything else, I think I'm going to get I had some giveaways before I left 3 weeks ago. And it's been 3 weeks since I had a video. And it seems odd because, first of all, I have tons of whips to show you. And I'm not used to that because I've been trying to do it every week. So this is kind of interesting. So for me to make a video with longer than my week long, I've gotten used to that week in between, and not 3 weeks and not a month. But hopefully this won't take too terribly long. So that's why I wanted to get on to the giveaways first and let you know. So I did the random comment picker and took care of that right away yesterday. And so this is the first giveaway I had. It's Long May She Wave by Little House Needleworks. And the winner is Christine Southard. I am not sure how you say your last name, but it's Southard. The reason why I mentioned that is my maiden name was Souther, and it was spelled Souther, similar to Christine's last name, but with an ER at the end. And our family considered it Souther, not Souther. So, and people are different with that. And so that's the reason why I wasn't sure exactly how to say your name, Christine. So I apologize for that. But you won this, and my email is below. Email ID is below. Please contact me, and I will send this off to you as soon as I can. I should be able to just send it here from Washougal. So you should get it in a fairly timely manner. So congratulations, Christine. My second giveaway was the House of the Month, July, Summertime, The Living is Easy. And the winner of this is Molly Sevcik. I think that's how you say it, Sevcik. Molly, you won this. Again, respond to my email below and give me your snail mail address, and I'll ship this one off to you, send it off to you. So anyway, I'm going to put this on hold for a minute. Realized I need some water already. So I'll see you in a bit. And I always forget, it doesn't make any difference. I can just push off and I just go do what I need to do. So it doesn't take a few minutes. It doesn't take very long. So anyway, I'm back. And with some water to help me get through this. I don't know, I always need something, and my voice is even getting bad even right now. So we'll see how long I last. Okay, I'm going to move on to my projects, to a few FOs I got done, and my whips and plans, and then at the end I'll tell you what I was up to for life updates. So first of all, exciting news. I finished 3 of my pieces. All 3 I finished at StitchCon, and I was able to ring the bell. Happy finishes, everyone. So that was pretty exciting. The first one I finished was, of course, this one I was working on for a few weeks. This was a birthday salve for Melanie of Yarns and Threads Floss Tube. She wanted to do this. There was a group of us, and she asked us if we all wanted to work on this salve to celebrate her birthday. She loves Blackbird designs, as we all know if we know Melanie. And so this is what I chose for my fabric and my floss. Anyway, this fabric is a Lakeside linen. It's 32 count. It was a piece I cut off from a bigger piece and stuck in my drawer and did not tab it as far as its name. So it's a typical Lakeside Zweigart based beautiful fabric, but not sure on the exact color of it. Though I do know the floss on this. It's Bing Cherry Classic Colorworks. So that is my finish, my FO on America. Down below, instead of doing the date, I decided to put 1776. I just thought that'd be kind of cute. So, and this is 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads. So. Okay, the next one I finished also at StitchCon and rang the bell was Cat's Reflection by Peruvian Flair. Put it back like this. A lot of people have really liked this when I've shown this. So now you can see it's all done, everybody. Those cats are so cool looking. This was also stitched on a piece of mystery fabric that I pulled out from my drawer. It shouldn't have been mystery fabric, actually, because it was tagged. I got it from a quilt store that has some linen fabric in it, a quilt store, local one that's called Pine Needles. If any of you are from Utah, you'll recognize the name of that quilt store. And they do have stitching supplies in it, as well as some fabric. But this fabric, all they identified it with was 28 counts. So they didn't say what the name of it was or anything. They didn't say natural. They didn't say anything. So all I know is it's a 28 count. But what I thought was cool with it, the reason why I used it is if you look close there, it kind of has like stripes in it. I don't know, it just kind of looked like a modern type of a fabric. I thought it would lend itself to the geometric forms on these cats. And it really did. I really like the combination I picked. I do know the floss. The floss is a DMC 815, which is one of my favorite DMC red colors. I like how it shows up. If I'm not using an overdyed, I really like 815. As does Kim. Hi, Kim. So that is Cat's Reflection by Peruvian Flair, a Peruvian cross-stitch designer on Etsy. If you look up her store, Peruvian Flair, one word, you will find her. She has some very interesting Peruvian based cross-stitch. And this was stitched on 2/2 with 2 floss threads. Okay, the third one I finished was a zombie run piece. And those who have followed me for a while know that I've been working on zombie run pieces and trying to get them finished. That's a Facebook group. That's a challenge group. And I did finish this one, so I believe, I'm not home to check, but I believe this is my either third or fourth zombie run finish. So I am on a roll. I'm so excited about this. These have all been Manias, old Stitch Mania pieces that I pulled out that I knew that I could finish if I just concentrated on them. And Zombie Run has given me that chance to concentrate, since I have to do at least 400 stitches each time. And in some cases, in order to get miles, I need to do more. So I'll pick the one that's closest to being finished and do the most miles on it. And in this case, it was Sheep May Safely Graze. That's the name of this one. It's by Homespun Elegance. And I also did the, if you can see close up, I did some of the back stitching, and then there's also some French knots on the little flowers. Kind of hard to tell, but there's a few there. This was stitched on 28 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart, and with all the called for flosses. They were all over dyes, some gassed and some weeks, I believe. So Sheep is done, and I love it. And again, I was able to ring the bell at StitchCon. Three ringings of the bell, so that was pretty exciting. Loved it. Okay, now I'm going to go on to whips. While I was in the plane, I worked on I worked on America to finish most of it up on the way to Ohio. But on the way back, I picked up another small piece, and I had started it previously, and some of you who watch me did see that. It was Hedgerow by Plum Street. She came out with a hedgehog row. And since I'm a hedgehog maniac, as some of you know, I had to start this right away. So these hedgies were started before I left, but I worked on them a whole lot more, not tons more, but more at StitchCon and then in the airplane for the 3-hour flight. So here we go. And before, all I had done was the little hedgie that was in the middle. That'll be the middle hedgie now. So now, as you can see, I did the bottom hedgie and started the grass and the hill. So this is being stitched on Color and Cotton, 32 count pistachio. It does not show up good here, but it's a green that I absolutely love. Just a beautiful green with a little shades of blue in it. So, but this does not do justice. It's beautiful. But it is with the called for DMC threads. It's 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads. So that's Hedgerow. As you can see, I'm on my way, getting more done on it. So I had to take Zombie Run pieces with me to StitchCon and work on them. Since I left, I was there 10 days, so I needed to work on those to get them done for my June challenge. So Needle Treasures went with. No, actually, Needle Treasures didn't go with. I did Needle Treasures and finished this one up just before I left because it's on scroll rods, and I just didn't want to take it with me, take up the room in my luggage. So anyway, this is feeding time with the little Hummel girl and her chickens. I'm going to use this one will be my next work on a finish for Zombie Run. And the reason being is you can probably tell. The rest is all done all the way up here. I will undo it again sometime and show you the rest. But I am almost done with this. And all I need to work on is the grass. There's a baby chick here and some grass and the Hummel name and some backstitch. So that's, this is going to be my focus piece for Zombie and to get this done. So, and what I accomplished for my 400 stitches this last month is from here all the way through here, because this whole part of the rooster was not done. So anyway, that is one Zombie Run piece that got done. So, and this is this was a kit. So this was done with the kit fabric, which is 14 count Aida. I believe it's just a white, and with the kit threads. So I'll be working towards a finish on that. As you can see, there isn't a whole lot more left to do. I just have to finish up some more of the chicken here and the baby chick and then that grass. So I think that's what my next concentration will be. Okay, one of the Zombie Run pieces that I did take to StitchCon was Harriet Elizabeth Coe. This I This I added to my zombie runs last month when I finished up another piece. So I wanted to get this Harriet Elizabeth Coe done. And I did 400 stitches on it, my required stitches. And what I did is all of that Algerian eyelet, no wait, yeah, this was Algerian eyelet on the bottom here, the red, as you can see, for the 400 stitches. And I almost made it all the way across. And then I think it was late evening and I put it down and I counted it and it was 400 because I counted it according to the fact that there was two. If I did the Algerian eyelets as like stitches, there would be so many stitches per each Algerian eyelet. So that's how I did the counting. So anyway, that was accomplished for this piece. So this is a 28 count, picture this plus fog, with all the called for threads, I believe. I don't think I did any subs for this one, so I think it's all the called for. And it's 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads. So that zombie run piece was worked on and finished. I also worked on mostly this last week, but not a little bit at StitchCon. I brought it with me at StitchCon and just decided to work on it a little bit there, but didn't get too much done because I didn't want to work on it like right during all the time when everybody's talking, because it's hard to work on a full coverage to me when you're talking to everybody. So I brought it along here to Washington because I wanted to keep up on a challenge that I was doing and put it for another challenge. So this is the lace maker pattern by Articy cross stitch. And what I ended up doing with it was 835 stitches because I put it into a new challenge. Before I tell you the challenge, I'll show you what I did. It was done like from here over. And as you can see, it's all white that I've been working on. Kind of boring, but it has to be done. Anyway, right up here was some light, very pale blue, but in between was white. And then as you moved farther down here, it turned all into white. So from here on over, not including this darker part here, is what I stitched. 835 stitches. And that was all due to a challenge that I decided to do along with my 21,000 stitches in 2021. And that is the Tour de France. Every year, Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group does a Tour de France. Well, I mean, not every year. I don't know. Whenever they have Tour de France, they do a challenge. And they have the miles every day that you have to stitch for the same amount of miles that the bikers go every day, mileage that they do. So that's what I ended up doing with this, and I've been keeping up with it. Today there's only 27 stitches, which is great because since I'm doing Floss Tube, I won't have as much time to stitch, so I'll be glad for those 27 stitches. But, I'm happy with that. I'm concentrating on Tour de France. I plan on continuing down here. This is all white pretty much, except when you get down to about here, it starts fading into a little bit of light cream. That will be a lot of the white pretty much done because some of it kind of veers down here and kind of like an angle and veers up here, but it's combining with like light blues and creams, and then the trees come down here and this part of the chimney comes down. So I'll be able to start going into fun colors, which I'm looking forward to doing because I'm getting pretty sick of white. Sarah, I feel for you. Stitchy Mommy is working on her Yosemite piece, and it's a lot of whites and blues. Actually, I wish mine had some more blues in it than the little bit of pale blue up there at the top. At least it'd be a little different. So, but I do like this piece. I really am looking forward to getting down to more of the flowers and the door and even more of the chimney and the roof. The roof goes down at an angle here. So that's my full coverage piece that I worked on this last week pretty much. Okay, I started a piece at StitchCon, a StitchCon start. I usually try to do that when I go to retreats, do a retreat start. This is not off the Q snaps, but the part, all you have to do is just see the part I'm working on. If you've heard of Pretty Kitty patterns, this was a freebie pattern by Pretty Kitty. I can't show you the pattern because there's no picture with it, there's just the chart. But it's called Basking in the Sun, Pretty Kitty. So when I was at StitchCon, I worked on it and I got the kitty done and some of the grass. So, and the little heart shape right there. So there isn't too much more. Basically, there's just like some flowers and vines and the sun. And my plan for this, to commemorate this StitchCon 2021, is I'm going to put keepsakes in a section of this, because that's the local stitching store at StitchCon, and Barbara owns that store. And I'm also going to put 310 in some part of this, because 310 is Keepsake's kitty that they keep. And I figure with Pretty Kitty being black, I can put 310 in there to commemorate Keepsake's kitten too, or cat too. So that's my plan. This is a Fabrics by Stephanie. I don't have the thing here. It's back in Utah. It's a silver, very pale silver color, 32 count. I remember that, with the called for threads of DMC. So that's Basking in the Sun, Pretty Kitty. Okay, I got a couple more. I did not get a chance to work on linen and threads until the last few days. Didn't take it with me to StitchCon, or did I? Oh, actually, I did take it with me to StitchCon, but with trying to work towards a finish on those 3 and start a StitchCon piece, I got maybe 50 stitches into it, if that. So most of it was worked on up here in Washington, in Washougal. And I did get the next block done, which is this block right here. This is the Talavera Linen and Threads 2021 Mystery Sal. And in that you're picking the colors of the Talavera pottery, the Spanish pottery. So here's what I've gotten done so far in it. The piece that was just done is this one down here with all the back stitch in blue. So right there. That's how I chose to do the coloring this month. I have 5 colors only that I'm using for this. I'm basing it off of a Talavera pottery piece that I have that has succulents in it. So it only had the dark orange, the yellow, 2 different colors of a kind of a teal, and the royal blue, which I'm using mostly for just little tidbits and borders, as you can tell. So real happy with how the colors are turning out on this. It looks just like my pot, and that's what I wanted, and I'm happy with. The next part will either be out later today or tomorrow, so I'm going to have to work on that. My goal is always to add a little bit more to those long, narrow side parts there. They aren't really borders. I did finish the one side, but not the other 2 yet. But I'll keep working on them. They'll get done by the time I get done with the piece. So my next part will be filling in another block, I'm assuming. So we will see. And this is being stitched on a 32 count even weave Lugana by Zweigart, and the threads, of course, are my chosen threads. They're DMC threads, and if you'd like to know what they are, I'd be happy to give you the numbers on them. So that's Talavera. And then the last one I worked on just the last couple days too, and this I did not bring with me to StitchCon, so I had to catch up on a lot, was the Temperature Topography piece by Stitching Mommy. And I decided I'd just wait till I got home and work on it. So I had to pick up on several of the letters. I had J done for June, but I did not have U, N, or E. So I worked on those the last couple, actually just yesterday. I worked on them yesterday to get them done. And if any of you know what a temperature piece is, of course, it's every day you have so many stitches in color that represents the temperature of that day. And the interesting thing about my one this month as opposed to Sarah's and other people's is we had quite hot temperatures for Utah the whole month of June, as you can see from my June color choices. I had some of the highest ones because we had over 100. We had 102 a couple days. Nothing like it was up here, but I mean, you know, it was hot. So, and there was a break back a little bit on some of those yellows, which was going back into the high 80s. But it stayed pretty much in the 90s to 103. So mine doesn't have a big change in colors, which normally it does because Utah wait one day and the weather changes. So as you can see from the others, I went back and forth quite a bit in different colors. But this month it stayed, you know, a lot the same. So it's, but I think it's pretty though, because it didn't stay exactly the same. You can see the shading in the colors there. So it did vary a little. So now I'm ready to start up with the July part. We'll see what the temperatures do. I'll just look them up online under time and date, and I'll be able to see what they are to continue them, even though I am here in Washington for a couple weeks. And this is stitched on 32 count Be-Stitched Me fabric in the colorway Peanut, and with my choice of colors, which I believe it was the four tint varied colors or something like that. There's like 4 different ones you can use, and I picked one of the 4 to do for Utah. So that's my last whip. As you can see, I had lots that I did. It's taken up quite a bit of time to show you all those whips. And, you know, I'm happy with all the progress I did with the finished objects and with how much I got done on the others. My plans for the coming week, I'm going to try to get another video up in a week if I get a chance. So there won't be half as much stuff on there this time. And my plans are pretty much what you would expect them to be. I do not have it with me, but the July Lizzie Kate Flip It will be my first go-to and finish for the week. That usually takes me 2 to 3 days, depending on how much stitching time I have. The Lizzie Kate Flip It for July shows a watermelon and the July down at the bottom, like the other ones have done. So I'll work on that. I'll also work on the next Talavera pottery square that I assume that they're doing for linen and threads for this coming month. That'll take me 2 to 3 days also. So those 2 pieces, along with Lace Maker, which I'm going to continue on the Tour de France challenge, will be probably the main pieces that you'll see. If I have any other stitching time, I might pull out Birdie Kitty or the Hedgerow and work on them. So that is pretty much my regular part of my video, though, oh golly, I will show you haul right now, but the haul will be with pictures that I took, because I didn't want to bring it all up here to Washington. That would have been kind of ridiculous, especially with how much I got. At StitchCon, we not only went to keepsakes, there's also was the annex part of StitchCon, which was a separate room having tons of stuff to buy from different designers of fabric, all kinds of stuff for StitchCon. So between the annex, keepsakes, and also we took a separate trip to Craft Gallery, which is 2 hours north. It's a stitching store 2 hours north of Cincinnati. And we got to go through there, and I bought some stuff there. So it was quite a lot of haul. And so what I thought I would do is just show you pictures of the haul that I got. And I'll keep it on for a few seconds so you can take a look at it closer, and then I'll come back afterwards and maybe tell you a little bit more about it. Lots of haul, as you can see. StitchCon was a blast. I'm inserting some pictures here of the brag table, my exchange gift, and some of the other stuff that went on there.
Oh yeah,
This
on the
is
bottom,
adorable.
but look at the dress
Look at
has
this.
cardinals.
That's adorable.
I made a couple of those one time for people for an exchange.
With the big beads on
I know you're
top?
gonna have
Yeah,
to tell
oh
me
yeah,
about
I like
that.
the
She's
bead.
gonna
Where do you
die.
get the big beads at?
At a bead store.
Oh, really?
Shush it. Yours is beautiful. You don't give yourself nearly enough credit.
Oh, how pretty. No.
Yeah, she made that. Was it the little Halloween bag?
Oh, I don't know what the bag was. I
I just
I bet it was.
I do, me too. Let me get out of the way.
I just wanted to see that rib cage real quick.
It's over here.
Pretty neat.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
Michelle.
It's amazing.
You start answering to it.
It's amazing.
Amazing. Wow. Well, she liked it.
I loved it. I didn't just like it. I loved it.
I like the
It's
honeycomb on
amazing.
top.
Yes.
I'm sure that there's already been, since it's been like a couple weeks, well, maybe not like quite that, but there's been a lot of other videos already up on what happened at StitchCon, and so my pictures are pretty much what I'm going to show you. I had a lovely time. I met so many other new stitchers and ones that watch my videos, and I just want to tell you thank you so very much coming up and telling me that you enjoy my videos, and I was just amazed. Thank you, everybody. I'm so bad with names, and I could go through and try to remember all the names. I should have written them all down, but I want every single one of you to know, in all the tables I went to, how much you meant to me. The hugs you gave me, the love, the smiles, the gifts you gave me. Oh my goodness, some of the gifts that I was given, so many amazing things, and I just don't think I could thank everybody enough, and I don't want to miss anybody. So this is my blanket. Thank you, everybody, for your gifts, for your love, for watching, for just being excited about the whole Floss Tube experience. And sometimes when I make these videos, I'm making them just for myself, to keep wraps on myself, to make sure that I continue my my goals. And a lot of it is goal setting, and I do the videos for that. I never realized that so many people would become so many friends, so many good friends, and love you guys all so much for that. You mean so much to me. Thank you. I know that a couple other things, though, that I did want to mention that were kind of just conducive to what happened to me, I will bring up. If you saw if you looked at the pictures before this, you saw the 2 t-shirts about the cicadas. It was quite an experience. I've never experienced this before. I think maybe as a child when I came back to visit my relatives in Illinois, there may have been times when I saw cicadas, but I don't remember that very much. And so this experience for me is really great because 17 years from now, I may not be around to get the experience again. So might be beyond, might be into StitchCon land, beyond the sky by then. So I was grateful to be able to actually see the cicadas. Didn't really bother me too much. I'm not very scared of bugs. They reminded me kind of June bugs in our area, where they're so dumb, or they don't have any brain, I don't know. And they come along and they go boom, and fall down. That was kind of how the cicadas did. They run into you and just like boing and fall down. Some of them came a little slower and ended up on our shirts or whatever else. When we got in and out of the car to go places, one of them snuck into the car. And we just said, oh, well, it's going to die. So we just left it in the car, and it got fried. But very interesting. I got pictures that I'm going to show of them massing on trees, what they look like. They massed around the fire truck because of the noise of the fire truck. There was one that came to the hotel because a person was having some, I believe, heart issues. Not sure now, but they were brought out of their hotel room, and we were upstairs stitching, and looking down, the cicadas were just massing around the fire truck. It was just amazing. So I think it was the sound of that, which leads me into the next thing, where on StitchCon B, we had issues with the air conditioner in the convention center, and it got very, very hot. And later on, actually, several of us decided we'd had it with this, and we went back to living, which was cooler because the air conditioner was working there. We went back to our hotel and stitched there. It was just so hot in the convention center. And it took them a while to figure out what was wrong. And you know what they ended up finding out what was wrong? And this may have been mentioned by other floss tubers, but I'm going to mention it again because I was just amazed by it. The air conditioning unit is on the top of the whole convention center. They took off, I guess, the stuff to check it, and it was just immersed with dead cicadas that had all gotten in the unit because of the noise coming from the unit, because they make this noise to attract each other, the females and the males. And so that noise from the air conditioning unit attracted them, just like the fire truck attracted them, the noise from that. So they all massed into the air conditioning unit on top of the roof and destroyed the whole our air conditioning. So that was just amazing to me that they could cause so much havoc, wreak so much havoc on us StitchConners. They did fix it. We had air the next day. They cleaned it out. They cleaned out all the cicadas. And these were probably cicadas from actually earlier, from closer to StitchCon A, because by the time we started going to the B, it was really slowing down. They were really ending. I'm sure by the time we left, there were probably very few left. So the major part of them was when we first arrived there, so, which was maybe around June 10th or 11th. There were a lot of them then. So that was one amazing thing. And what was the other one? Oh, we had a tornado warning, which means you have to stay where you are because the tornado was coming through. So we were all at the convention center right then. And so we all had to stay down in the convention center because where they had StitchCon was down to the basement. So that was the safest place we could be. So nobody was allowed to leave, and we had a tornado warning. Now, I think that's the first time that I remember. Maybe as a child I might have been under one, but that's the first time I remember being under a tornado warning before. So that was the excitement for us too, our StitchCon B people. So we had some rather crazy excitement. I'll show you some pictures now of some of the things that we experienced there. Some of the pictures are, of course, just regular StitchCon pictures. Others of you may have already seen. Some of them will be our pictures of the cicada brood. So anyway, those will be here. A couple days went by, and then I was packing frantically, and we drove up to Washougal just in time for the heat wave. Yay. But it's over now, so I just stayed inside and stitched. That's probably why I got a lot of stitching done. I did go down to Acorns and Threads on Saturday to pick up my 25th anniversary birthday bash envelope. Got it just in time because on Sunday they had Acorns and Threads had its 25th anniversary birthday bash, and that was also very fun. We did that on Sunday and really enjoyed it. And there have been some videos up on that, but I will just show you really fast the pattern. We had Liz Matthews join us, and she designed a pattern just for the 21st birthday bash. Words. Such a pretty piece, and has like acorns and the threads and the the Acorns and Threads little back stitch for the store, and spools, and it's just so cute. Just love it. So thank you, Liz, for a beautiful design. She kitted it up for us. We got all the DMC and the fabric. And my little start isn't much, because for the most part I was working on my Talavera because I wanted to get that done. But I thought, well, since we are celebrating, I better start a little bit and then move on. So this is my little start. It's on a beautiful piece. It's called for DMC, but it's on a beautiful piece of colored cotton bisque, which it's hard for you to see how pretty it is, but it's a very pretty neutral white with maybe a tinge of very pale blue in it. So it's a beautiful color. And that was an all-day event, and we really had a fun time. We did some giveaways, some raffle items. We did bingo for raffle items. Also, we had a ticket just for raffle. Got to visit, other people visited us, other floss tubers, other people wishing Janine and Acorns and Threads a wonderful 25th birthday. So that was quite fun. That's what's been going on up to now. I'm going to try to get back, like I said, next week, in a week's time, to not have this be so long in between, especially since I didn't write down things and have forgotten a lot. Again, thanks to everybody that I met at Floss Tube. Love you lots. Also, thanks to my traveling companion, Brenda. I just had a wonderful time. And thanks also, just an extra special thanks to Kim. Thanks for taking us everywhere, Kim. That was absolutely wonderful. She is a Cincinnati resident, and she came and took us to the grocery store, took us out to eat, took us to Craft Gallery. So we're both very grateful to you for that, Kim. Thank you so much. And thanks to everybody else for just the lovely time that we had. Before I end, I actually remembered I don't have my gratitude book with me, but I did look up a gratitude quote. So I will give that to you now. And it's by Oprah Winfrey, and it says, "Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough." So remember that. What we have is important, and if we're grateful for it, it will always be enough. And boy, for me, it's enough just to have people watching and being able to show off my projects and be with you guys. So thanks again for what it is, my little bit of take on what I did the last 3 weeks. And I'll see you guys again in about a week, hopefully. And stitch on, everybody. Be happy and enjoy yourself. Remember that there's beauty out there, and if you look for it, you'll see it. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you in a little while. Bye.